Hi, my name is David Saenz. I'm the lead pastor at Experience Church. My wife and I started this church about 3 years ago, and we believe strongly in conversation. So Experience Church is made for people to be seen, heard, and known, because we believe in a God who sees them, hears them, and knows them. And in these conversations, we talk about everything. Most of us, I think, as humans, we want this pursuit of this destiny or this desire to find purpose in life. So we start at that common ground, that all of us want purpose in life, and that a lot of times guide us or leads us to a spiritual conversation. As a church planter, you face all kinds of challenges. In my own personal experience, at first it was, do I have what it takes as a leader to start something like this? Do I have a big enough vision to start this? Do I have the resources? Do I have the volunteers? And you go on and you start your journey of church planting. You're trying to kind of break yourself in all sorts of ways to fill in or to make sure everything is going. And eventually, what really, in my heart, what really supported me, it was when people around you start believing in you, and during those dark moments, during those times where you feel alone. And that's where a great network of pastors or friends can come very, very helpful. Transformational ministry has been that for me. From the very beginning, what my wife and I saw in transformational ministry, it was that it was driven through relationships. I remember one time, and this was a very challenging time at the very beginning stages of our plant. Pastor Doug Mai invited us to Panera Bread, and in that conversation, I thought he was going to ask me about my strategic, my vision as a church planter, and he just started asking me basic questions that meant the world to me and my wife. How are you doing? How is your family? And how can we support you? And from there, he connected me with a pastor's mentor group, and this group of pastors where pastors have been in this line of work for many years, so they have strong churches. And in the past, I gathered with other church planters, so we were all trying to bounce ideas. But here, I felt like these pastors had solid congregations. They were at a different stage than I was, and they were able to not only speak life into me, but provide financial support, advice, and these were people that were texting me, calling me, like Pastor Ty Guy. And my wife and I were very grateful to see that this starts at a very personal, relational level.
Hi, I'm Rob. I'm the lead pastor at Wilshire Avenue. We're a church in downtown Fullerton, a multi-generational church with contemporary services, traditional services. So we're multi-generational, all ages, and it's just been such a blast. I've been here 4 years. The staff is amazing. The people are amazing. And we've been able to do some pretty cool things. One of the challenges when I first came here was we were looking to buy property 5 years down the road. I didn't want to be the new guy running a campaign asking for money. And just one night, it doesn't happen often, but I really felt the Lord waking me up and say, go downtown and pray. And I almost argued back with the Lord, you don't just go downtown and pray. But I heard him say, won't I be there with you? So, okay. So I go downtown, begin to pray. And then I'm imagining the headlines, seeing pastor gets arrested for roaming around downtown Fullerton, around the campus at 3 a.m. But I just heard, so I wanted to run and make it look like I was exercising and ignore some of that. But I just heard God say, walk and listen and pray. And you see some interesting things at 3 a.m. in the morning. And so God was just showing me everything that he was kind of planning and visioning. And at the end of it, I just clearly heard God say, Rob, I'm going to give you this land, and I need you to use it to reach the lost. And I said, okay, that's who I am. Sure, absolutely. Can I go? You can go back to bed. And 3 days later, I get our executive pastor walking into my office and just distressed and said, you're not gonna believe it. The property across the street, we were planning 5 years down the road. We have to buy it now. How are we gonna do this campaign with you coming in new? I just smiled and said, you're not gonna believe what just happened. And one thing led to another. We began the campaign. It wasn't the ideal time. I didn't want to be the guy doing it. But this is where TM came in huge. Willie was such an encouragement, and TM has been great, continuing to work with Doug, and then Bill, our mentor group, and all my boys, the pastors, are just so amazing, where they encouraged me to keep leaning into what the Lord was telling us. And now to this day, we are debt-free. We took down our debt. We planted a church in the Dominican Republic, and using that property as funding for that. And so on the lower level, a worship center, classroom for 200 children up above, and then our student center. We're a stone's throw away from the high school. And so we plan to reach students, and it's going to be an amazing opportunity. And so TM was just crucial in coming alongside, encouraging me to lean into Jesus, to follow him, and listen to his voice.
Hi, my name's Bob Wilcox. I'm the senior pastor here at Hacienda Christian Fellowship. We're a small church located in downtown La Puente. It's a multicultural place, but it's largely Hispanic population. But we have a good mixture of people. I've been a member of this church for about 30 years. I've been pastoring here since 2008 as assistant pastor. I became the senior pastor in 2013. And I think for about a period of about 3 years, we kind of was just maintaining the status quo. I went to a convention in Pasadena. Tom Mercer was the keynote speaker. And what he shared about Oikos really resonated with us, because that seemed like the same direction that the Lord had been leading us. So we felt a real connection there. Also, I stopped by at one of the booths there. It was a Transformation Ministry booth. Mark Barguer was one of the people I met there. And since we went to the same barber, we had like an instant connection. I think if you were to talk to Mark, he would tell you that he was posing as Tom Mercer and was ready to sign his book for me. You know, and over the course of those 2 years, I really saw the heart of Transformation Ministries, how they really have a heart for building healthy churches. February, we had a health assessment. The StratOps come for a weekend, and that was an intensive weekend. We gathered our leadership together, and we took a hard look at our ministry. We looked at our history, where we're at our ministries, and did a real assessment of our ministries. The thing I appreciate about them walking us through that process is that they were not there giving us direction or telling us, hey, this is what you should do. They were just helping us with the process of finding God's direction for our church. Around that same time, I got a call from Kirk Mackey. He says, as part of you being a part of Transformation Ministries, you receive a coach. And he was my coach.
Take a breath if you'd like, it's all good.
Yeah. And I tell you, he's been more than a coach to me. He's been a friend. He's really become my friend. It's so good to be able to have someone that you could turn to process things with and to talk things through. And there has been so much value that I have received out of those conversations. I think I'm really a better pastor and a better person because of the coaching and because of those times that we have to process those things. So I thank God for that. You know, in Genesis, it says that it's not good for man to be alone. You know, and I think the same thing is true about ministry. It's not good to do ministry alone.